The geopolitical balance in the Middle East has once again been shaken after Iran announced that it has officially begun the mass production of advanced ballistic missiles. This development has sent shockwaves through Israel and the United States, both of whom view Tehran's growing missile capabilities as a direct threat to regional stability and international security. The Iranian leadership framed the announcement as a symbol of national strength and deterrence against foreign pressure, while Western governments reacted with alarm, fearing the move could escalate tensions across an already volatile region. Iran's defense ministry proudly unveiled footage of assembly lines producing medium and long-range ballistic missiles capable of carrying advanced warheads. Officials in Tehran declared that this milestone is a crucial step in asserting independence and resisting Western sanctions that have long targeted the country's military and defense programs. They argued that Iran's missile program is purely defensive in nature, designed to protect the nation from hostile neighbors and foreign intervention. However, the timing and scale of the production effort suggest far broader strategic ambitions. For years, Israel and the United States have expressed grave concerns about Iran's missile development. Washington has consistently warned that Tehran's missile program, combined with its nuclear activities, poses a serious risk to regional allies and global security. Israel, which has long considered Iran its top adversary, views the latest development as a red line that brings the Islamic Republic closer to achieving the kind of strike capabilities that could challenge Israeli air defenses and endanger major population centers. Both countries are now engaged in high-level consultations, weighing potential responses to this new phase in Iran's military evolution. Analysts note that Iran's decision to move into mass production is a calculated show of defiance against mounting international pressure. The United States has imposed layer upon layer of economic sanctions in an attempt to curb Iran's weapons programs, but Tehran appears determined to demonstrate that its technological progress cannot be stopped. This announcement also comes at a time when Washington is struggling to balance multiple foreign policy crises, from the ongoing war in Ukraine to rising tensions with China in the Pacific. Against this backdrop, Iran's bold move is being seen as an attempt to exploit global distractions and assert its influence more forcefully in the Middle East. Israel, meanwhile, is likely to interpret the mass production of ballistic missiles as a direct threat to its survival. Israeli defense officials have already begun openly discussing the need for enhanced cooperation with the United States, both in terms of intelligence sharing and joint missile defense systems. The Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow systems remain cornerstones of Israel's security architecture, but the sheer volume of missiles that could now be produced by Iran raises fears that even the most advanced defense shields may be overwhelmed in a future conflict. For ordinary Israelis, the news has heightened anxieties about the prospect of a large-scale confrontation with Iran and its regional proxies. The ripple effects of Iran's announcement are being felt far beyond the borders of the Middle East. European allies of the United States have also voiced concern, warning that mass-produced ballistic missiles could destabilize not only the Persian Gulf, but also extend Iran's influence into the Mediterranean and beyond. Arab Gulf states, many of whom already feel threatened by Tehran's regional ambitions, are expected to accelerate their own weapons purchases in response, further fueling an arms race across the region. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, in particular, may seek closer security guarantees from Washington, deepening the already complex web of alliances and rivalries that define the Middle East. Iran's leaders, however, remain unbowed by international criticism. They insist that their missile program is non-negotiable and a legitimate right under international law. Iranian officials have repeatedly pointed to the presence of American military bases in the Gulf, NATO support for Israel, and ongoing Western arms sales to Arab states as justification for strengthening their own capabilities. In their narrative, mass-producing ballistic missiles is not an act of aggression but a necessity for survival in a hostile global environment. This rhetoric resonates strongly with hardliners inside Iran, who view military self-sufficiency as a cornerstone of national pride and resistance against foreign domination. For Washington and Tel Aviv, the dilemma is clear. Taking no action risks emboldening Iran and signaling weakness, but direct confrontation carries enormous risks of escalation that could engulf the entire region in conflict. Diplomacy has so far failed to restrain Tehran's missile program, and sanctions have proven largely ineffective. This leaves military options on the table, though neither the United States nor Israel is eager to ignite a war that could spiral out of control. As policymakers scramble to formulate a coherent strategy, one thing is certain. The era of Iran's limited missile development is over, and the world must now contend with the reality of a country capable of producing ballistic missiles at scale. The international community is watching closely to see how Israel and the United States will respond. Whether through increased sanctions, covert operations, or direct military pressure, both countries are expected to step up efforts to counter Iran's growing power. But for now, Tehran has succeeded in seizing global attention and projecting itself as a formidable force. With ballistic missile production now a reality, the Middle East enters an even more dangerous chapter, where the margin for error is vanishingly thin and the consequences of miscalculation could be catastrophic.